There's a genre of BBC called I Read This in the News, and this is my Buddhist perspective on it. So I'm going to go along with that, see how it goes. And as a coincidence, 2 days ago, one of our lay friends dropped off a newspaper article for me. And when I read it, it brought up a lot of emotions and thoughts. So I thought I would share that in order to increase our bodhicitta and our aspiration to be free from samsara completely. So, in this newspaper, the Spring-Summer 2025 Northern Journeys newspaper, which does not have an online presence, but apparently it does exist. I couldn't confirm this letter that's in the newspaper, but these events did actually happen according to historylink.org, which seems reputable, and it's sponsored by the state of Washington and the King County government. So it seems reputable, and I know these things happened more or less. So this is a letter from Colonel Jeremiah Wilson to his sister, September 1st, 1858. And he describes this event and his actions in this event and kind of the emotions that came up for him. And what happened was U.S. Army Colonel George Wright slaughtered 800 Palouse horses on September 8th, 1858. And this was in retribution for an embarrassing military failure from the Native Americans. And this happened just east of Spokane, along the Spokane River. So apparently, in order to get revenge on the Native Americans in the area who had defeated this unit, they had to retreat. This Colonel Wright decided to go find their horses, which are a source of wealth and they're necessary for the Native Americans to survive. He decided to find them and to destroy them. And also, apparently, he destroyed some grain stores also. So it was a difficult winter after that, and some young children and the elderly passed away. They couldn't survive the winter after this destruction. So he describes how this went down and the turmoil that was going on inside him as this was happening. They found the horses. The horses were trapped along the river, so they couldn't escape. And then Captain Wright ordered them to fire. And this letter reads, Captain Wright rode back and forth behind our lines, exhorting us on to victory in the most foul language imaginable, as if we were engaged in a glorious and righteous battle. I waited until he had passed, then I vomited. I aimed high. I hope I did not kill or wound a single horse. I went several seconds without firing at all, hoping my comrades would not notice. The soldiers around me fired until the barrels of the rifles became too hot to hold and had to be cooled by pouring water on them from their canteens. On and on it went, hour after hour, until all of my world was a nightmare. Under the tortured sounds of the dying horses, the smell of blood, the air saturated with death, there was something else, the death of the contract of mutual respect between man and horse. A contract going back hundreds of years. In this mass death, we were bent on destroying the soul of an Indian nation. We proclaimed with each rifle shot that we were barbarians. So I can feel this torment, this angst that's going on inside him as he's been ordered to murder, and all the people around him are murdering, and it kind of feels like he doesn't know what to do. And so there's a lot going on here. And for this soldier, Colonel Jeremiah Wilson, as it's happening, he makes this decision not to kill. And then later on, he tells the story about how he decides to break lines and to go and relieve some of the horses of their suffering by killing them. And he's ordered to return to the lines. He doesn't follow his orders. And he's put into the brig, and he's later discharged from the army. So I think he has a good intention. He wants to help these horses. He doesn't want to kill them. And and he puts them out of their misery with a sense of compassion, I think. He does murder, but I think his intention is he loves these horses. He doesn't want to murder, and he feels compelled to. And so he does take on that karma of murdering, but I think with a good intention. And it's a mixed intention also because you can see the torment and the pain that he's going through as all of this is happening. So I think also to relieve some of the pain and the suffering that he's enduring, he decides to put some of the horses out of their misery. So I think this is pertinent because we can see this mind in ourselves also. It's not separate from us. It's not they do these things and we don't. We can see this mind of revenge, this mind of wanting to cause harm, whatever it might manifest in a small way or in a big way. This mind of wrong views, if we really check up, we can see that we have these kinds of afflictions also. So we can't really stand on our high horse and say, you guys are bad and we're good. But we all have afflictions, and they play out in different ways. So there's also the soldiers around him who have been ordered to murder, and they seem to be doing it with a lot of glee and enthusiasm. He talks about the eyes of the devil full of bloodlust. And so they probably think that they're doing the right thing. They're following orders. They probably think they're helping their nation. They're supporting the other troops. They're a group all together engaged in this activity. So with this wrong view, thinking that they're doing the right thing when actually they're murdering and doing something that's going to have a very powerful negative karmic effect, they're setting up future lives for rebirths in very unpleasant circumstances. So in this situation, when we read things like this, just like the Pasada text that we read together, it says, if you cannot stop an act of killing, have compassion for the murderer as well as whatever sentient being is being murdered. So we can feel a lot of compassion for the people involved and the suffering they're going to have to endure in the future. There's also the Native Americans who are kind of hidden in this story, and they're the victims of this revenge and these acts of cruelty. And so we can also have a lot of compassion for them. And we've heard story after story about the injustices and the lies that they've been told, and over again how their cultures were destroyed and decimated. And so we can have a lot of compassion for them also, and the suffering that they've been going through for decades. So again, this is relevant because we can notice the same conceptualities if we look deeply in our own mind stream. And today, as we have this precious human rebirth, we can use it in a positive way to notice when these afflictions come up in whatever small or big way. We can apply the antidotes. We can train our mind. So when jealousy, when malice and harm does arise in our mind stream, we can do something about it. We can set ourselves up to benefit other sentient beings. We can avoid harmful rebirths, unfortunate rebirths, and we can make aspirations that may we never be put in a situation where we have to make a life or death decision. May we never have to endure these kinds of gross, incredible sufferings that a lot of people endure. And may we shore up our determination to be free from samsara, to face our afflictions head on, to apply the antidotes day by day by day. So eventually we can get closer to Buddhahood, and we'll have the capacity to benefit each and every sentient being in the best way and lead them also to Buddhahood.